I'm convinced you all are Brave Girls aunties because they did not deserve to get last in the cover round.
I'm saying I don't wanna come down from your love. We'll get lost together like we fly. Don't ever let me come down from your love. From your love. From your love.
Hey guys, it's briczennie here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm finally getting to your Unpopular Queendom 2 opinions. I know it's been a really long time since I posted the Google form and asked for your responses. I'm really excited to react to some of your responses. I got so many, so thank you so much to everyone who participated and made this video possible. Unfortunately, I will not be able to react to everyone's responses, but I'm going to do as many as I can in this video. I also want to quickly say I am recording this on Wednesday, June 1st, which is a day before the finale, so I can't wait to see the finale and see who wins and all of that. I'm super excited, so hopefully I'll be able to get this video out before the finale airs. But if you are watching after the finale aired and you saw who won Queendom 2, make sure to share your thoughts about that in the comments below. But without further ado, let's get right into your Unpopular Queendom 2 opinions. So the first Unpopular Queendom 2 opinion I have is from Ray. I'm convinced you all are Brave Girls aunties because they did not deserve to get last in the cover round. In the beginning of the cover round, they clearly stated that you are covering a group song, but you need to make it into your own, and I believe Brave Girls and Luna were the best. Kepler and Hyolyn, in my opinion, lacked creativity. I love Hyolyn, but in my opinion, her performance was very overwhelming, especially with that intro. Yes, there were vocals, but in my opinion, that's all that there was. Kepler's performance was just too boring for me. No offense to any of these groups, I love them all. I do kind of agree with you with some people just underestimating Brave Girls. I feel like through the entire competition, Brave Girls has kind of been the underdog, and I do think that part of the reason for their disadvantage is one, that they are a senior group, and two, they don't have as large and active of a fan base of some of the other competitors like Luna, Kepler, WJSN, etc. And they also aren't as dance performance based as other contestants like Kepler, WJSN, etc. So I do think that that does put them at a disadvantage. I actually loved their cover of Mask, and like you said, I really think that Brave Girls brought a mature, classy spin to their cover. I thought that their performance was great. I thought that their live vocals were amazing as well. And like you said, they really put the Brave Girls touch on the song. I don't believe that they deserve to get last in that round. I think it's just another example of people sleeping on Brave Girls, but I was really happy that they did win the most recent round. They got first place, which was great because they were at risk of being eliminated. Their performance of Red Sun was just beautifully done, from the vocals to the choreo to the storytelling to the styling. They just looked amazing. So I was really happy that they were able to come back with their performance of Red Sun, get first place, avoid elimination, and I'm really looking forward to see what they do during the final round. So the next opinion we have is an anonymous opinion, and it says Kepler's been the punching bag of Queendom 2 watchers, and it shows because they'll put out the slayest performance, and some of you still have the audacity to rank it last. Like, they don't have some of the best dancers in 4th gen for nothing. A lot of people like to hate on Kepler for no reason, or at least reasons out of their control. A lot of people feel that Kepler has Mnet's favoritism, and that's why they are in the show with more seasoned idols that maybe really do need the exposure, or maybe idol groups that have been in the industry for a while, so they just deserve that spotlight. A lot of people just hate Kepler because they don't think that they should be there. And I also want to add the fact that Kepler is on a 2-year contract, so they're not a permanent group. And so some people are saying, oh, well, there are idol groups that, you know, are permanent groups, at least until they disband or whatever, that really deserve to be on the show to get that spotlight, to get exposure. Why waste it on a group that has a 2-year contract? Now, maybe you could say Kepler has Mnet's favoritism, being that they are an Mnet group. They were formed through Girls Planet 999, but you can't really fault Kepler for that, and you can't even really fault Mnet for wanting to include Kepler in this show, especially since Girls Planet 999 was kind of a success. People watched it, and Kepler seems to be doing pretty well, so it would make sense that they would want to put them in this show as well. Even though the group will disband after 2 years, that's not to say that any of the members of the group will just drop off the face of the earth and not be in the K-pop industry anymore. Look at Chaewon and Sakura that were in Eyes 1 and that are now in LE SSERAFIM. This is a good way for all of the members of the group to to get more exposure, to gain more fans, so that way, even when Kepler disbands, maybe having this exposure will bring them other opportunities after Kepler disbands. And then you even have Hyolyn, who's a member of CLC, which is now disbanded. So I think that this is a great opportunity for her as well. While I do understand that maybe there are other groups that people would like to have participated, I just don't get the hate train for Kepler. It's not like they bring nothing to the competition. I think they have great stage presence. I think they have great dancers. For example, I think Hikaru and even Xiaoting are amazing as far as stage presence and dancing and all of that. So I personally don't really find their performances boring, but that's just my opinion. Hyolyn's performances have not been as good as people have been saying they were. And this is from another anonymous viewer. To be honest, I don't agree with this opinion. I will say that her performances are different, being that she's a solo artist, but I think that she's an ace when it comes to her performances. She has the vocal, she has the stage presence, she has the storytelling, she has the dancing. Maybe people do hype her up a little bit because she is the Hyolyn from Sistar. She is pretty much a big deal in the industry, so maybe people are just hyping her up in that way. But I will say that her performances are pretty amazing. I think she's only not come in first place in one round or two. She's pretty much dominated the competition. I haven't seen all the episodes, so you feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I think how well she's been doing in this competition speaks for itself. Fan voting is not the only way that these competitors are being graded. I'll just leave it at that. The next unpopular opinion is from Knowles254. Honestly, at this point, we can all tell the rankings of the show. Hyolyn's talent has been respected and appreciated, while brave girls are still portrayed as weaklings. I honestly watched this show as Viviz and Kepler fan, but as much as I love Kepler, Dreamcatcher or Cherry Bullet deserve that slot more. My predictions are 1 Hyolyn, 2 Luna, 3, 4, 5 Viviz, Kepler, WJSN. Sadly, brave girls last. As far as your predictions, I guess we'll have to see. The finale will be airing really soon, and I've kind of already addressed your point about Kepler. I do agree that Dreamcatcher would have been a great selection for this show. They just got their recent first win with their song Mason. It would have been really interesting to see how participation in Queendom 2 could have potentially catapulted their career and maybe gave them more exposure, gained them more fans. So I do agree with you on that point. I also think Cherry Bullet is great too and could really use some exposure, even though some of the members were already on Girls Planet 999. So even though I like Kepler, I do see your point, but at the same time, I also don't see a problem with them competing in this show, personally. WJSN seems like the friendliest, the funniest, and they make the show fun. Without them, the show is going to be boring. I agree with you. I think WJSN had really good vibes. I especially liked Ekshi, the rapper. I really vibed with her personality, and I think it's really cool seeing WJSN's interactions with the other groups. So here is another opinion from an anonymous submitter. Though I understand that the drama element is required, I strongly dislike the open mentioning of the group artist that performs worse than you. It leads to so many fan wars on Twitter, other social media, and breeds unwarranted hate. It would have been better and honestly done. It's almost as if Mnet's pitting women against each other or catering to the idea of female drama because in Kingdom groups had to pick the best performing group. I think it's unnecessary. I think that that's a really good point, especially when you bring up how in Kingdom the groups had to pick the best performing group. So it's really interesting to see how Mnet kind of turned that method on its head and had the girls pick the group or artist that performed worse than them. But I do think that Mnet knows what they're doing. We know that Mnet is pretty much the king of evil editing. The fan wars, even though they are negative, they still bring about buzz and make people want to watch the show. So I think this is probably Mnet's way of just creating drama and getting people to watch the show, even though like you, I don't agree with it. And like I said, I think you made a great point when comparing the method of picking the group who performs worse than you to the way they did it in Kingdom. I think that's very telling. This unpopular opinion is from Chris. I don't think Viviz should have been on Queendom as they had just debuted a couple months ago and barely have any songs like Kepler, and I don't think they have the right to dip back into their G-Friend songs either. So I actually disagree with this unpopular opinion as well, to be honest. And the reason why is, for example, if Hyolyn is allowed to dip into Sistar, why can't Viviz dip into their G-Friend songs? It's not their fault that they just debuted as a smaller group, and I don't see why, considering they only have one EP or one mini album, that they can't dip into previous songs that they had with G-Friend. Kepler is a brand new group. They don't have any previous songs as a unit, and that's fine, but that should have nothing to do with Viviz. It's not Viviz's fault. So yeah, personally, I disagree with that opinion. I don't see the issue with Viviz being able to dip into their G-Friend songs, especially since their disbandment is pretty fresh still, and a lot of Viviz fans are also G-Friend fans, so it kind of makes sense that they would want to pull from G-Friend's discography. The next one is from Meryl. Queendom is not as strong as Kingdom. I miss the power and the performances in Queendom. Sometimes I don't even finish watching the performance because it doesn't have any impact. I agree, and that's why I kind of stopped watching the full episodes and just catching the performances, because I felt like I was sitting down watching the full episodes, and once I saw the performances, I was like, okay, these performances are good, but they don't wow me. They're not as breathtaking to me as some of the Road to Kingdom or Kingdom Legendary War performances. Kingdom Legendary War, for example, I was so hyped to see, every performance and what the groups would do next that I was watching every single episode, like the entire thing. The performances in Queendom 2 are good, but once you watch Road to Kingdom or Kingdom Legendary War, you're definitely going to see a difference in the performances. As far as like the storytelling, the impact, even the stage set, and I don't know why that is. I haven't seen full episodes of Queendom. In fact, I've only seen a few performances, but I did see the Idol performance of Lion, and that performance was amazing. I think it was for the finale, but I'm not sure. So if Queendom performances were pretty much on par with that performance specifically, I would say that Queendom performances are a lot better than Queendom 2. I would say overall, even though I did enjoy a lot of the performances from Queendom 2, I honestly didn't find any of them groundbreaking, especially in comparison to Road to Kingdom and Kingdom performances like Stray Kids Wolfgang, The Boys, Catching Fire, or Checkmate, or even One Us's performance of Lit. When I compare Queendom 2 to Road to Kingdom or Kingdom Legendary War, I'm really not that impressed. The next opinion is from River. Not gonna lie, in the first few episodes of Queendom 2, Shinbi of Viviz was giving me a weird vibe. The way she was talking and acting like she owned the place was so off-putting to me. Now I don't really feel that way anymore, but I still sometimes get this feeling in recent episodes that she's still like that, but I don't pay attention to it too much since it's most likely Mnet's evil editing. I do remember one of the first few episodes, Shinbi had an exchange with Hyolyn from WJSN, and Mnet kind of edited it in a way to make Shinbi look bad, but basically the two of them are actually friends outside of the show, and they have been friends for a long time. I think overall Shinbi has like a very blunt, sarcastic personality, and I think that sometimes Mnet uses that to their advantage to try to make her look a certain way. So it's good that you're aware of that, and I would definitely keep that in mind. This next opinion is from another anonymous viewer. They should stop performing Rollin' in every round. We had Rollin' Remix for the introduction, Rollin' Chima Baram for round 1, and Rollin' Pool Party for round 2. It's becoming tiring. No, I agree with you. That's one thing I would say about some of the performances, whether it was Brave Girls or Kepler covering Brave Girls. Brave Girls has so many great songs besides Rollin'. I get that that's their huge hit that recently blew up, and that's the song that a lot of people associate with them, but I wish they would have dug into some of their older discography, especially songs like Deepened, which I love. I would have loved to see a Deepened performance. I think that would have been really cool because that song is a bop, and it would have given us a little bit more like hip-hop like choreo, which I think would have been interesting to see in this competition. I was getting tired of Rollin' too. I especially did not like Kepler's cover of Brave Girls Rollin', which was remixed with Pool Party. I just didn't think the two songs meshed. That was probably one of my least favorite performances from Kepler in the entire competition. Alright guys, so that pretty much sums it up for me reacting to your unpopular Queendom 2 opinions. Feel free to comment any unpopular opinions about Queendom 2 that you have in the comment section, or whether you disagree or agree with any of the opinions I mentioned. Also feel free to drop your predictions about who will win Queendom 2 in the comments below. Make sure to join my server if you haven't already. It's a very active, fun K-pop community where you can talk to me and other K-pop fans. We also have weekly events like watch parties, listening parties, mini games like Guess That K-pop Idol and Guess That Music Video. I would definitely recommend you join because it is a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.